Hello, everyone, and welcome to Pickleball Connections. We are super excited today in our Wellness Wednesday. Thanks for joining. I'm Victoria Ochoa. Let me tell you a little bit about myself. I am a semi-retired marketer from corporate, and I'm really dedicated now to health and well-being. And one of the most amazing ways I've discovered to promote health and well-being is through pickleball. And today we have two very special guests. We have a superpower couple that are also dedicated to helping people improve their performance and so many other things. They have a practice called itsonlyhalftime.com. And without further ado, I will let Dr. Andreas Betcher and his beautiful wife, Patricia Maroney, introduce themselves.
Thank you.
Ladies first.
Thank you so much, Victoria. It's our pleasure to be here. And we are super passionate about health and wellness. I've been in the industry of aesthetics, so helping people to take care of their outside aging for over 20 years now. And I've been a part of international companies that I've taught and trained people from all over the country and the world of how to take care of their most important asset and their skin at the same time.
Yeah, and it's been quite a journey that we've had together. I've been an international keynote speaker after retiring from chiropractic practice, specializing in sports performance and nutrition, working with various nutrition companies as a supplement formulator, and of course, as my own competitive endeavors as a 3-time Ironman triathlete, Masters men's physique competitor, and now stand-up jet ski racer and avid golfer who, just like you, is looking to just play one more game. And we're going to share with you 7 simple shifts today to help you to accomplish just that.
Yeah, and so when is he going to start playing pickleball, Patricia? When are we going to take him out on the courts?
Well, he is so good at everything that he puts his hands on, honestly, and he's amazing at ping pong, and he used to play tennis. So the times I have had him on the court, it's just, I'm no competition for him. So I'm looking forward to getting him out there with some really good players because he takes up things so fast.
Awesome. I look forward to that. So one of the problems we have as pickleball players, definitely, and I think that you're going to be able to help all of us with the information you're going to give us, is that, as you say, we want to play one more game. And unfortunately, our machines, this beautiful body, can take so much without doing the proper things. We see a lot of injuries, we see a lot of dehydration, we see a lot of fatigue, out of focus, people that really want to be out there playing at their best, but sometimes I even get frustrated because I'm practicing and doing all the right things, but then I just don't go a little bit more, a little bit further, and then you have these on and off days, and so what's that about? And I really think that what you're going to talk about, those 7 shifts, is going to give us more clarity on what are those 7 shifts that we can do that will guarantee that our game is going to be more consistent, solid, we're going to play longer, have more fun, and then not hurt as much.
Yeah, exactly. And we like to simplify the process. I've coached so many people over the years, and most people are closer than they think to really living their life's true potential, to be able to play pickleball in the way that they always envisioned for as long as they want. And so we're going to give you these 7 simple shifts along with our dog here, and that are going to help you to start addressing all of those factors. So really stay tuned. These are simple, but don't oversimplify it in the results that they can have. So shift number 1, let's get clear on that, is to start fueling yourself for performance. Now, what do I mean? We don't believe in any kind of diets, fads, or gimmicks, or anything like that nature. We focus on whole food nutrition because the whole day, usually she's running off first thing in the morning. I've never seen her bounce out of bed so fast to go play pickleball. And you got that fueling and that performance starts the night before. And so if you have a diet that's heavy in processed food, junk food, that's nutritionally bankrupt and devoid of nutrients, and they also contain plant chemicals that can deplete the body's vital minerals. And as a result, you're going to show up with lackluster energy, performance, and proper antioxidants to support the fuel and the activity to produce the energy. So you're going to have fatigue, you're going to drop in focus, you're going to have a drop in energy, you're going to be more prone to injury, and it's going to also lengthen your recovery time, especially if you're new to the sport, you're new to pickleball, and your muscles may be a little sore than you're used to. When you're not fueled properly the day before with whole food nutrition, then you're going to set yourself up for a longer road recovery and also increase your risk for injury.
It comes down to that first thing. And then that brings us to shift number 2. And you touched a little bit on that. This is something that I've always strived to educate on for our skin as well, but we need to have proper hydration. Dehydration shows there's many things that we start feeling when we are dehydrated. And by the time we're already feeling thirsty or our lips are dry, we're already dehydrated. So when we're playing a sport like pickleball, it's dangerous because you're already out there playing, and it's a nonstop fun game, right? And game after game after game. So ideally we want to be getting half our body weight in ounces of hydration and water. I like to fuel as well with electrolytes. You can talk a little bit on the electrolytes as well and how that helps us, and making sure that we're conscious of what number that is that we need so that we can get to that number so we can play longer and not have those injuries and dizziness and all that.
Well, I'd love to come back to talk more about the electrolytes, but in short, like calcium, magnesium, sodium, potassium, all of those are critical for neuromuscular function, coordination, and enzymatic reactions that help support muscle function. And what happens when you're dehydrated, think of it like a sponge. Remember, 60% of your body is water, and the majority of your muscle tissue is hydrated with water. Now, if you've had a bad night meal before, you're going to be dehydrated because you're losing water. And then if you start with a caffeinated beverage, you're not hydrated properly. As a result, that sponge starts to dry out. And what happens to a sponge? It's more prone to tearing. It's more prone to injury. And that's what happens on the pickleball court. The beauty of the sport is it's so simple and it's easy to jump in. It's easy to play. It's easy if you've never been an athlete, and it's so much fun. But the problem is if you don't treat it a little bit like an athletic endeavor, when you make those sudden movements and you're dehydrated and you're not having the right fuel, the muscle tissue gives, joints give, and that's when the injuries start to happen.
And how about how does that affect your focus?
Well, that's another thing. So what happens, and people don't realize, they just think, oh, my game's going bad. I'm just, I start off so well. What happened at the end? Well, when you're dehydrated, remember, the brain also needs that water as well. And as a result, you start losing that focus, that energy, that endurance, and you start getting sloppy. You're not moving as well. The coordination is not there. And that also then increases your risk of injury because even though it's a small contained area, it's quick, sudden movements. And when you're not ready and the body's slowing down and your brain is thinking, oh yeah, I can get that ball, but your body's going, no, you can't. That's what ends up happening and creates that recipe.
That's so true. We've been there.
That brings me to shift number 3. And this really is so important because one of the things I focus on in my health and wellness coaching and fitness is reducing all-cause mortality, what anyone dies of at any given moment in any given time. And one of the biggest factors that can reduce your risk of all-cause mortality, regardless of cause, by 3x is having proper strength development. Okay, I'm not talking about the vanity that you see at the gym or the six-pack in the mirror. I'm talking about functional strength, grip strength, the ability to hold a squatted position, just functional types of strength, because it is so important that the tissues are there to absorb those sudden rapid movements. And if their strength is not there, the joints endure the brunt of it. And then that's when connective tissue starts to tear. That's when ligaments get strained. That's when tendonitis starts to flare. That's when ACL tears start to happen as a result of that. So that strength is so important because one of the things that we all face as we age is sarcopenia. Okay, sarcopenia is age-related muscle loss. And if we're not strength training, we are losing on average 3 to 10% of our muscle mass every decade after the age of 30. Compound that by the time we're 60 or 70, that's going to limit our ability to play pickleball. So it's so important.
So would you say that proper nutrition, along with proper hydration and strength training, is going to avoid that because you're going to be building muscle or protecting your muscle?
Exactly.
Right.
Strengthening tissue, connective tissue, bones, joints, ligaments, it all together in one. And then as a byproduct, guess what? You're getting healthier as a result.
And you feel better.
And you're feeling better.
And more energy.
Yeah. So that brings us shift number 4, I think.
Okay, so shift number 4, we're basically talking about reducing inflammation. And I wanted to highlight something that's just not that obvious for everybody, and it's eliminating seed oils. There's a ratio we're supposed to have of omega-6s and omega-3s, and omega-6 is found in a lot of foods, and we're supposed to have a ratio of 2 omega-6s versus 1 omega-3, and we know omega-3 is very anti-inflammatory, but oftentimes in the American diet, it's more of a ratio of 20 omega-6s versus one omega-3. So that is prone to more inflammation in the body. So we want to really, and we dive more into this with later, and we can, reach out to us with questions on this, but basically keeping the inflammation down.
Yeah, so it's hidden in a lot of things. And so where do you find these omega-6s? Well, they're in all the vegetable oils, canola oils, seed oils, safflower oils, peanut oils, palm kernel oils. Check your ingredients and read your labels. Mm-hmm. This is one of the key things to reduce a state of chronic inflammation. It is, outside of sugar, omega-6s is on my hot radar for any client that I'm working with to reduce inflammation in the body. Because when you have elevated states of chronic inflammation, the tissues break down faster, DNA tissue breaks down faster, gut health starts to get destroyed. And as a result of that, the body becomes chronically inflamed, it's not able to heal. And it creates a whole host of other chronic diseases as a result of that. So eliminating omega-6 fatty acids from your diet through these seed oils is a crucial shift that will make a big difference in how long and how healthy you play pickleball. So,
okay,
does that mean that fried foods are an out, or is there any type of oil that you can use for fried foods?
Yeah, so for fried foods, I don't recommend frying it all in general, just because of what it does to the fatty acid. It turns it into a trans fat, which then creates that arterial scarring and inflammation that can lead to that atherosclerotic plaquing. Okay, what I do recommend with is I just recommend just stay away from fried food. I'm sorry, I can't recommend it. But I do recommend
stir fry with olive oil, or stir fry with coconut oil or avocado oil.
Coconut oil can be better, still rich in omega-6s. If your avocado would probably be the higher of the choices, but I personally, what we do in our home is we just simply cook with grass-fed butter.
Or
really?
Yeah, or if you're lactose intolerant, we do a grass-fed
or ghee.
Ghee.
If you are, yes, exactly. If you're lactose intolerant, use a ghee.
Ghee.
Yep.
So, great question, Victoria. So it brings us to number 5. So I want to keep us on track here. Proper warm-up. Oftentimes we're just getting to the court and we're like, oh, one opened up, let's go and play. You're all so excited. So the warm-up oftentimes might not be happening. And so that's really important, because we lose some motor function as we age, and we need to get the muscles and everything kind of heated up before we play.
Yeah, a proper warm-up's critical. It doesn't matter what sport you're doing. I'm an avid golfer. I get to the golf course at least an hour beforehand. I go through every club in the bag, start slow, gradual warm-up. The key is to find a nice warm-up routine. Focus 5 to 10 minutes of just getting your heart elevated. Walk around the court, do some loops, do some circles. If your body can tolerate, do some light jogging in place, some light jumping jacks. Maybe do some walking lunges up and down the court, back, and get those knees loose, get the hips loose, get the core loose, and just spend a good 10, 15 minutes. And I'm telling you, it will prevent an injury, guaranteed, because it is just a recipe to an injury to go in there cold.
Yeah, so, and I know Patricia can speak to this, is that when I go out to the court, and I'm about the only one out there that really runs a little bit and does a whole 10-minute set of warm-up before I go and play. And so what we call pickleball warm-ups is that people just go out there and do like simple dinks, right? And sometimes they'll do shots from. So Patricia, what do you think is missing there?
So, I mean, really, if we as a community can just encourage that and just grab a friend, this is what we're going to do. And then people are going to look like, what are you guys doing? And this is why. It would just, through education and through doing it ourselves, right? We just have to be the example.
Yeah, I would just encourage that whenever the pickleball time is, everybody needs to show up 30 minutes beforehand for the warm-up.
That's what I do.
You know, and then have a set warm-up routine in place. Everybody's doing the right behavior. One thing I don't recommend that might be counterintuitive while we're on this topic is that ballistic stretching that you see people doing. That's where it's just cold, there's blood flow glowing. Yeah. Right? Do the walking movement, the jump in place, the walking lunges, get the blood flow, get your heart rate up a little bit, get a little bit of a sweat maybe going,
and then
do some light stretching maybe. And so that'll bring us into shift number 6 in a moment, but I think that would be really important and very helpful for all of the pickleball players.
Definitely.
So shift number 6.
Rest and recovery. And so this applies to lots of areas of life, right? So we want to have, after we have our fun time and our fun game, what would we do? What would we be doing for our rest and recovery?
Yeah, so, and I'll be transparent. I'm not always the best in this. I'm going to call a spade, okay? But that is a great time to stretch, right? After you've done the activity is to go through some light movement, get the blood flow, get the heart rate out, the muscles are warm, and doing the loops. Now, one of the things that I'm really big at, and you don't know, look, I'm 53, I'm no young chicken. I've overcome emergency back surgery, a knee surgery, and I still like to play golf. But one of the big things is recovery, right? So focus on your fuel and nutrition after, making sure you're hydrating well after, and then, take some downtime. And one of the big things that I find, especially in our age group, that I really recommend is cryotherapy. Cryotherapy and infrared sauna. Those two modalities are wonderful at generating what we call a hormetic response, a stress-induced response that triggers the body to heal, rejuvenate, and recover on a cellular level. I try to do cryotherapy at least once a week. It keeps me playing golf, keeps my back in check, allows me to recover from my weight training efforts, and of course, the golf course. And so rest and recovery, don't overlook the importance of that and what that can do for you. Sorry, she has to attend to the dog for a moment.
It's okay. So how about the infrared sauna? Tell us what that does.
Yeah, so the infrared sauna, there's a place here in Sarasota that I go, it's called Perspire. Francesca is the owner, and the infrared sauna uses infrared light therapy to generate a hormetic response. You have the heat and the temperature, and it almost induces like a thermogenic effect, no different than the effect of exercise itself. In fact, a 40-minute session can burn up to 300 to 500 calories. Make sure you go in hydrated though, it's very important. It stimulates really the key markers of health, right? It helps with inflammation. It helps with mitochondrial biogenesis. The mitochondria is the ATP powerhouse cell of the body where the body produces and generates energy.
Yeah.
It also supports telomere health. Telomeres are the protective end caps to your DNA tissue. Think of it like the plastic end cap to your shoelace that prevents it from unraveling. So when DNA starts to replicate itself over the years, that telomere can start to shrink. And as a result, that shrinkage is directly correlated to lifespan. And so preserving telomere length is very important. And then, of course, the infrared light stimulates the body's natural healing response, counters that inflammation as a result. And I walk out of there and I feel like $1,000,000. I'm just like a noodle. I'm ready to go. I take it one day a week to do both of those. And if you can, I will do the heat therapy first, and then I go across the street at UTC here in Sarasota to restore, and then I do my cryotherapy right after. So it's a perfect hot, cold contrast, and $1,000,000 for the week.
Nice. So you feel like new after that?
Oh my gosh, I can't even tell you. I look forward to it. And it's a bit of a learned thing. I understand it may not be for everyone, but don't be fearful of it. Start slowly. They got different levels. But it is such a key part of my fitness routine. It's part of my training. I do it, like I said, once a week. And it allows me to race a 400-pound jet ski 70 miles an hour. It allows me to swing a golf club and play with kids half my age in the gym.
Yeah,
and that's what I want for everybody.
Yeah, and so for people who are really not going to do that, right? What other types of recovery? So you're mentioning stretching after playing, right? After your body's warmed up, then you can just do those static stretches and make sure that you give yourself a nice stretch. If you have a spa at home, right? That's a great way to also get all that good heat in and just relax and recover. Or a nice hot bath and do some, stretch a little bit in a hot bath. How about, does that relate to sleep, or would that be another shift that you need to do?
Well, that definitely, sleep is a big part of the rest and recovery. You need to get those minimum hours of sleep. If the body's not rejuvenating, that's where hormone balance starts to come back into check. And with the cycles of cortisol, melatonin, and testosterone, which we all need in the right ratio, sleep is really important with all that. And then the fuel and the nutrition is also part of that recovery. Having what I see a deficiency in protein that a lot of people are, they're not getting the amino acids, the building block to repair the muscle tissue, the ligaments, the collagen that's needed to support connective tissue. So it's a collective team. It's a sum of a lot of little efforts that really are coming together that allow the body to really express its true potential, right? You can do all of it, even if you did some of it, which is more than most, you can feel an amazing difference, these 7 shifts. And I hope people really give them a chance, because it's amazing how quickly the body can respond, irregardless of where you're starting from today.
So let's review the shifts that we talked about, right? What was the first shift we said
Was fueling the body properly, fuel for performance. Shift number 2.
Proper hydration, water, 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 and electrolytes.
Shift number 3, strength conditioning.
Number 4 was eliminating the seed oils to reduce inflammation.
Number 5, proper warm up. Okay. Number
Number
6.
6 was rest and recovery.
And then we still got number 7.
and we still have number 7.
Yep. Number 7 is hopefully something you're participating in already, because it is all about community and personal development, which is why we're here and what brought us together, right?
Yeah, you know, we've all heard the saying, right? Show me the top 5 people you hang around with, and I show you your average income. Well, you know, it's the same thing in caliber pickleball players, right? It's also the same thing when it comes to your health and wellness and your longevity. Who you surround yourself with people who think differently, that you can redefine how you age, that we can die young as late as possible. Well, that's what we're all about. We're about community and building that community. And we've done that through a phenomenal program that I'll let Patricia mention if it's all right.
So we created a community called It's Only Halftime. Now, inevitably, we're all aging, but how we age, I would say, is a choice. And so we've combined our 50 years of experience that we talked about, and we are trying to make it very easy and bite-sized for others to utilize that knowledge and information to redefine how they choose to age, because it is a choice.
Yeah, and we have a 7x7 challenge in there that to expand on these 7 simple fundamental shifts so you can start to redefining how you age, shift control in your favor, and play just one more day.
And this is a free app that you can find in the Apple Store and also on Google Play. So we welcome you to be a part of our inner circle.
Yes, awesome. And we will post the information so everybody who is interested in getting the free app and really helping your performance, helping what I call healthy aging, because I think yesterday when we were prepping for this interview, you talked about it's about living, what? Getting old?
It's about dying young as late as possible.
It's about dying young as late as possible, and I totally believe in it. You know, the idea that we have of aging can totally change if we take care of this beautiful vessel that's called our body. And I love what you also have mentioned about beauty comes from the inside out. If you take care of your body, it's going to reflect. And the other subject we touched upon was community. And there is a book that studies the outliers and why people live so long. And one of the most important factors is community. Not only because you're surrounded by people who have healthy and good habits, but also because you're surrounded. We are social animals. And we see all these kids and a lot of adults just stuck to their screens. And pickleball is that beautiful way where people are going out there, doing exercise, learning how to be young again, and plugging into a community. So it's an incredible game, and I'm so glad that Patricia, you're playing. We have to get you out there, Dr. Andreas.
I will be there. I will give you my word. I will be out there.
We'll get you out there. We'll take pictures and post
you all
them.
out there.
Oh, yes, I will. Thank you. And I wanted to say we covered a lot today. And so hopefully we're not feeling overwhelmed right now, but just know we're here for you. Through the app, you can reach out to either one of us and really can dive into whatever your goals are and things you're trying to accomplish. We're available, so you can get a hold of us.
We're ready to create a movement, so come join us.
Yes, we are creating a movement on Pickleball Connections, and that's why we brought you in here, so people can continue also and go to that next step on their performance and their pickleball game. Okay, so I hope you all listen to this interview and really get good notes out of it, and definitely download the app. We will be posting on how to do that so you can perform much better. We can avoid all those injuries that are not necessary, and especially that we can all grow younger. So I really would like to thank you, Dr. Andreas and Patricia, for being here. You have so much knowledge, and I'm sure that we're going to have you more than once if that's okay with you. Maybe some people will be posting questions that are, you know, that have to do with those 7 shifts. And I definitely have a lot of questions, and I look forward to continuing this conversation with you. Okay,
Excellent.
everyone, that is what we have for Pickleball Connections today. Do you want to say any closing notes?
No, thank you so much, Victoria. This has absolutely been a pleasure, and I look forward to getting on the court.
Yeah, and no matter where you are in your life, just remember, it's only
All the
halftime.
halftime.
It's only halftime. Okay, everyone. Have a beautiful night and wake up tomorrow and just make sure that you remember it's only halftime. Everything's going to be okay.
Right. That's right.
Okay.
That's it.
Bye,
care.
everyone. Thank you.